Hello and welcome back to What I Wished I'd Known About Self-Publishing Before I Got Started. I am Karlie with Dragon Key Press. And today we are going to go over the basic publishing cycle on promotion and marketing. Now, the main gist of promoting is basically getting the word out. This will include book launches, book tours, whether online or in person, having an online presence such as a website, a blog, or on social media, using advertising venues such as promotional sites, online ads, guest posts, book trailers, and getting those reviews, whether they are paid/solicited or organic. And we'll kind of go over some of those different things and where you can and cannot do paid and solicited and those kind of things later on. But first and foremost, let's kind of go to a very useful site at BookBub. They have a lot of great information. Their first thing is to create a book launch checklist. And this is pretty standard for everybody. They'll want you to basically have a timeline of when you want things to actually be submitted, to be published. The thing, as a self-published author, you get to make your own deadlines, your own launch dates, and all that, and that kind of makes things kind of crazy, especially if you feel like, oh, hey, I want to just get this out and done and over with. They recommend 6 months. A 6-month pre-book launch campaign to try and get as much momentum as possible. During that time, you will post a cover reveal, add a synopsis of the book to your website in a hopefully very pretty, eye-catching way. And if you have any affiliated links, if like anything that might be relate to it, etc., that helps as well. Mailing lists. I don't know how many of you have thought about those kinds of things, but those are things you might want to think about. Author profiles on all of your things, such as BookBub, Amazon, so forth, etc., any other site that you choose to do whatever on. 3 months before your launch, they say you should create an inventory of stylized photography in relation to your book. This may not actually relate to all books, but hey, these are things that they suggest. They suggest design quote cards, which honestly I have used before, and they can be quite helpful. Giving giveaways for advanced reader copies. I'll go over what those are later, but they basically call them ARCs, and they are wonderful and great, and we'll go more into detail there. But at this point, they also suggest that you create engaging bonus content. Not always possible. In this case, their example is posting recipes or things that might be related to something in the book. They also suggest sharing early reviews in your marketing material if you have any. This does not mean that you say, hey, Mom or BFF, I need you to read this so you can write a quick review so I can share it. That's not what they're talking about. These are usually critical reviews that are usually paid for through those big book reviewers that I will actually go through later. Right now there's probably just too much to kind of try and get through on a quick introduction on this thing. And at this point, they also suggest you send your advanced reader copies or ARCs to major publications for like prize giveaways, any awards, etc., that you can possibly get them in for. Sometimes they will mention them in these publications, etc. Sometimes they won't. It just kind of depends. Now, they suggest 1 month before the book launch to really buckle down and create countdown social media posts so that it's like this countdown, 30 days, 29, 28, 27, with some kind of pertinence, something or other that's different for each day to get your readers excited. Then they suggest, at this point, promote a Pinterest board or about the book, if it makes sense for your book. It doesn't make sense for everybody. But honestly, Pinterest hasn't really worked for me. That doesn't mean it won't work for you. It just hasn't really worked for me. Then they suggest sharing a book trailer video. Again, depending on the type of book you have, that's not necessarily going to work very well. Kids' books, book trailer videos don't work for very well. Novels, yeah, you see them all over everywhere, and you can actually make your own if you're savvy with those kinds of video editing tools, or you can actually pay somebody to make them for you. But we'll talk more about that kind of stuff later. At this point, they suggest showing the readers glimpses of your author life so that they can kind of get a secret peek into what it's like behind the curtain, as it were. Maybe pictures of you reading your book or some of your daily habits, routines, etc. And then finally, launch day. They suggest you send a launch day newsletter to remind everybody, hey, this is coming up right now. It's now available. Woohoo! Go get it. And hopefully by then you've already built enough hype that people will actually go for it. They also suggest you update your social media header images, such as on Facebook, so that it highlights your newest book, the cover, a pertinent image, those kinds of things, so that it is pretty much right there as soon as anybody goes to your author page on whatever social media platform it is. They also suggest post celebratory social media updates like, woo, yeah, we've sold so many, this is so awesome, contest, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you can use your imagination to kind of figure out what kind of things to do there. This is also like links to where to purchase at different retailers and all those kind of things. Now, it has a post-launch day kind of thing, because most people, we don't think about the, hey, yay, our book is out, now what? Because even traditional publishers will only give you so much momentum with help of promotion before they basically say, okay, we're done. And then it's all on you. So post-day, they suggest you run multi-author promotions. This is more for your self-published book. But even as a traditional, you can kind of do a bit of that yourself. Like running giveaways through different things like Goodreads, etc. And I'll actually go more in depth about Goodreads and how it's actually really wonderful and helpful later. Q&A sessions, doing book tours and signings. Depending on where you are, there are actually wonderful programs that will actually help you get into different grocery stores or other libraries or things like that, where you can actually sell your books in person. And those kinds of things are amazing, essential, and they really help get the word out there. But if you're traditional, they kind of help set them up to a certain extent for you. And if you're not traditional, you kind of have to set them up yourself, unless you have somebody you have hired to do your promotional stuff for you. And then in that case, it's their job. But most of us can't afford that, so it's all on us. They suggest running regular giveaways, which is supposed to keep that buzz going. And, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, this one's a Christmas one. She started running things for it in September. I mean, people are starting to think about things around that. I'd wait till after Halloween myself, but, you know, that's just me. Seasonal buzz. If your books have seasons that are predominant in your environment, you can kind of run it as, hey, these are books great for summer or great for winter or autumn or fall or whatever. Including different reading challenges you can put up there. There are a lot of different things that you can totally put in there that can kind of help you to really promote this stuff. And then it also suggests celebrating your successes with your readers. Hey, we hit this goal of selling so many books. Hey, we got on this whatever reading list, or we won this award. Those things actually are important. Just keep that up there. And then don't be afraid to recommend books to your readers. This is something that, you know, you might struggle with because you're like, well, I want to sell my books, not somebody else's books. But you're not actually taking much away from your books by saying, hey, if you like my books, you might like these books, which means if you like these books, you might like my books. It's kind of a weird way of looking things. But they also have a place where you can download the checklist if you want to take a look at that. But yeah, that is kind of their checklist for, hey, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, launch day, what happens after launch day? And that is by no means has to be this way, as sometimes I have actually put out books that I have done next to no promotion, and they've done really well. Sometimes I have done this 6-month, woohoo, it's coming, and they have just tanked. So you're going to kind of have to just play it by ear and see what works best for you, or what works best for the different genres. And part of that's just going to be what is available to you at the time, based off of budget, time, resources, etc., for promoting. But things you definitely want to keep in mind: researching your target audience. And by the way, if you are writing a kids' books, even though you want this to be read to little kids, your target audience is their parents. Just a heads up. Because they're the ones actually buying the book. Make sure you kind of know where they go to find the books that you're writing, because not everybody's going to go online. Not everybody's going to go in person. Some people just see it at the store and go, ooh, this looks fun. Sometimes they see it at the library and go, huh. So, kind of having an idea of that helps with your marketing and promotion. Comparable authors are also going to be a big thing, as if you have tried to go the traditional route and you've written your query letters and saying, hey, I have this great book, they often want you to compare it to already published books and authors. Similar to people who like this may also like blah, 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 blah. Those kinds of things. If you can have something that you can say, this is similar to this, if you like this, you'll like mine, then it gives them that element of, hey, this is kind of familiar. I know I already like this, so why not give this a try? But you'll even see sometimes on the back cover blurbs that they will put things like that, or even in reviews, this book reminded me of da-da-da-da-da-da-da, with tones of da-da-da-da-da. And that actually helps sell the book better. Now, you also want to research book promotion channels and tactics, because each genre is going to have its own kind of thing where it wants to go. There are partners through BookBub you can go through. Kindlepreneur actually has 127 plus top free and paid book promotion services you can use, which is actually quite wonderful. If you don't have money, go for the free ones. Some momentum is better than no momentum. Believe me when I say that. But this is a fantastic site to visit. And there is the link right up here if you care to very quickly jot it down, though I will try to remember to put it in the comments when I post the video. But other things that they suggest: early promotion if you can. Sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes life happens and it gets away from you. But if you can, in advance, announce, hey, this is the title of a book that I'm getting ready to put out. And then, if you can, a little sneak peek. Sometimes it's draft, sometimes it's not, it's whatever. Like, hey, you're basically just trying to generate interest, trying to get excitement and that buzz, so people will actually want to look for your book. Then, of course, the cover reveal. Ooh, slowly, surely unveiling what's going on. You're not giving away the plot point or anything like that, but then you gotta say, hey, blurb, woohoo! And put these kinds of things on your profiles, etc. And these are all great tools for promotion. Promotion, of course, is one of those things that you actually have to start before you finish formatting and getting everything ready. Remember where I said that a lot of these things are interconnected and kind of cross over and do the whole loop-de-loop-de-loop-de thing, kind of where some things have to be done while other things are going on kind of thing? Yeah, promotion is one of those. Because sometimes you want to start promoting before you've even finished writing or illustrating, before you've even gotten the formatting done, even before you've got a cover or a blurb or anything like that. So people kind of get this idea of, oh, something's coming down the pipeline. And as you get closer and you have more things that you can share with them, you start to share a little bit more as to kind of build on what you've already given them. Like I said, there's your title, and then, ooh, hey, it's a cover. Ooh, here's the blurb. Hey, here's an excerpt. Oh my goodness, this looks entertaining. and you want to kind of try and slowly reel them in with slightly bigger, better things that make them go, yeah, this is awesome. But there are a lot of different things that you can do with promotion, and it has to start before you hit the publish button if you want to generate enough momentum for people to actually want to buy your book as soon as it comes out. Because even though there are times when people will look and say, oh, hey, this looks interesting, it's brand new. Most of the time, those books are not going to show up first on the Amazon lists or any of the other lists. So unless they actually know who you are or know what to look for, they're probably not going to find it. But if you generate the buzz of them, hey, this is coming. Hey, here's when it's going to be available date, pre-launch now, and people start to actually search for it online, that actually gets the search engines, everything all primed and ready so that when launch day comes and somebody just puts in title, it automatically pulls it to the top instead of you having to go 50 pages down the list to find it. So building that buzz before you even hit that publish button, super, super important. There are a lot of sites and stuff you can go through to do a lot of this stuff, and I will try to go in a lot more detail with them later, because honestly, there's so much information and there's no way I can put it all in one video. But hey, this is just kind of that intro to those kinds of things that you're going to want to try and do, and I will try very hard to go into more detail on a lot of these things, but if there's anything I've mentioned that you definitely want me to talk to more about, let me know in the comments or send me an email or whatever. I mean, my website's pretty obvious, karlielucas.com. You can find me there, you can message me, you can comment, whatever, or just comment on the videos and I will get those comments. I do read them. So let me know if there is anything you want me to spend a lot more time on other than what I'm hoping, which you don't know yet, to spend more time on later, because there are a lot of things I haven't even mentioned in this whole promotional thing that help in the long run with the marketing and keeping momentum and things like that. But yeah, before we make this too long, too late, I am going to stop right there with this is promotion, and this is probably the second most important part of the whole aspect outside of actually writing your book. So, feel free to drop comments, questions, suggestions, demands for refund, whatever, in the comments. I will try to respond to any questions, etc., and I hope that you learned something new, or give you something to think about, because, yeah, there's a lot. I am Karlie with Dragon Key Press, and I hope to see you next time.